Welcome back to the Spectre Creative Channel, where we look at all things toy and pop culture and that kind of thing. And today, we're poking the bear. Why am I poking the bear? Because I'm doing a video about, well, race. And I don't see people, I'm not talking about, seeing people by the color of their skin. That's not how I judge people. I judge people based on how big their toy collection is. So with that as groundwork, let's kind of jump in. So first off, it's obvious that there are toys produced in many, many different skin colors, different races, different ethnicities. Classic examples are the Barbie doll. Every year, Barbie is produced, for example, as a holiday Barbie, and you can get Caucasian, African American, and even now Latino. Same thing with Cabbage Patch Kids. Cabbage Patch Kids, from day one, back in the 80s when they launched, were available as both Caucasian, white skin color, and African American black skin color. And same thing with action figures. You can get plenty of aspirational action figures, like Nick Fury here is a great example of an African American character. So likewise, as there are African American toys out there, there's the corresponding Caucasian white versions. As I said, Barbie obviously has a white version. Cabbage Patch Kids, also available in Caucasian, both male, female, baby, and a little older. That's also how they kind of diversify the Cabbage Patch Kids by age. And same thing with action figures. There are plenty of superheroes who are aspirational that are Caucasian. You can also get Nick Fury as a Caucasian. See how I did that there? And of course these days, there are also finally branching out to other ethnicities. You can get Asian Cabbage Patch Kids. You can get Latino Cabbage Patch Kids. There's really no limit, especially in the way we are today. I'm not doing this video to kind of get into all the different ethnicities available for toys. That might actually be a video for another time. And I'm not doing this because I don't want to dive too much into race relations. It's basically just for simplicity. I just want to talk about an overview. And this is basically just because I'm really, really lazy. And I don't want to jump into, a huge video here. I wanted to keep this pretty short. So, for starters, a lot of toy lines are what I call sort of forced ethnic diversification. I have to say, some of the doll lines from Mattel do this, where they will specifically select characters to put in their lines based on their skin color in order to diversify the line. Now, on the surface, this is a really good thing, but from a sales standpoint, the DC Superheroes line, all the dolls were produced in the same amount. But guess which one didn't sell that well? Bumblebee here. Every figure available in the case pack, same thing. Is this because of systemic racism? Is this because people don't want to buy an African American superheroine doll? Heck no. It's about population. It has nothing to do with racism. So let me explain that, and again, hopefully I'm not poking a bear because I'm not trying to offend anyone. It all comes down to the fact that toys, specifically really action figures and dolls, are avatars. They are avatars for the child to enter a play world and become something else. Children see themselves as their favorite toy. Sometimes the toy can be a buddy, but more often, when a child is engaging with toy product and they are acting out an imagination-based story, they are projecting themselves as the hero. So boys, who are into He-Man, see themselves as He-Man. I mean, again, I'm not saying girls can't be into He-Man, but bear with me here. I'm already doing a controversial video as is. And likewise, girls playing with Barbie see themselves as Barbie and doing the things Barbie does or a doll does during doll play. And this is because children inherently go for the toys that most resemble them, that the best match. When a child is choosing a toy, they're not doing it, there's no racism involved. It's because they're choosing a character that they could see themselves the most like. The character that's their gender, the character that's their race. It has nothing to do with, gender or race relations. It just has to do with seeing toys as an avatar. And that's why you see Caucasian white children choosing a white toy, and likewise African American children choosing an African American toy. And again, like I said, there's obviously other ethnicities out there. I'm just trying to simplify this for the sake of a video. And of course, robots are always going to choose a robot toy. It's because it resembles them. Now, we could get into the whole thing about, how boys and girl brains function differently, process information differently. That's kind of a video for a whole other time. So, why boys play with action figures, why girls play with dolls, different subject. What we're really talking about is looking at a snapshot, for example, of the US population. This graph shows that about 64% of the population is white, 16% Hispanic, 12% black, 5% Asian, etc. So with this information in mind, does it make sense to produce toys in absolutely equal number? So just as many black, just as many Asian, just as many Caucasian, just as many Latino, etc., toys? Not really. Because children choose toys based on who closest resembles them in terms of race and gender, producing toys in the same percentage as the population is actually the smartest thing to do for sales. Yes, toys should be used to teach about race and ethnicity. And of course, children are going to go for toys that don't match their ethnicity. I'm not saying, white kids only play with white toys, or black kids only play with black toys. Kids will play with any toy as long as it is aspirational, but they are more likely as their primary character to choose someone that resembles themselves. And there's great toys out there beyond dolls and action figures that can teach about diversity. Board games, puzzles, building blocks, books, food games, learning about foods from different cultures, so many different ways, building toys that teach about ethnicity. And it's great that these are out there. But having the expectation that doll lines and action figure lines should produce every figure in the exact same amount is not going to lead to financial success. It's a much better idea to turn to things like board games when you want to learn about different races, different ethnicities, diversity, all of that. Wonderful ways to teach that. But if you try to produce a toy line that's going to produce every single character based on their race and gender in exactly equal amounts, you wind up with toys that don't sell. And again, there's nothing to do with racism or gender or anything like that. It has to do with population size. So if you have a toy line that has mostly white characters, that's also because our population right now has a majority Caucasian people. It's as simple as that. It's literally about population size and working smart versus working hard. I hope this video worked well. I know this was going to be a touchy subject going into this, but I hope I explained things. If you have questions, clarification, you want to follow up, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, ring the bell, give me a like. That tells YouTube to share this with other people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.